Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast. Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen, to the show. We are the Sports Buffoons over here, getting a little wacky once again on a Wednesday. We got Tanner Dawson and Jason JG. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, y'all? It's great to be back up in the hizzle. What y'all want to talk about today?
Whoa. Already asking for commenters to chime in. Some of you out there get a little happy with your comments. So, as you guys can notice, we're repping the Royals today. Pitchers and catchers reported in this week. Was it yesterday, Tanner?
It was actually first day today.
Today was the first day?
Today was the first day.
Okay. Are we excited to watch or no guys are playing catch? Is that a thing?
It's true. It is actually
Some people
very
get excited about it. I personally get more excited when I see spring training results, I guess. But I guess it is kind of the kickoff to baseball season getting closer. And as you guys know, since we're based out of Kansas City area, that the Royals are our favorite team. Jason, actually, your dad loves the Royals, right?
Yeah, he's crazy about the Royals. I mean, he's like the most loyal fan of the Royals I've ever known in my life. He's kind of like the equivalent of you, you know, as a Chiefs fan. Like, you're the most diehard Chiefs fan that I know, and my dad is the most loyal Royals fan that I know.
Well, both franchises have had some rough times in the past. Chiefs being known for going 2-14 multiple times during my fandom, and the Royals are well known for losing 100 games every year. So, luckily, they were not so bad. They could only lose, I think, 34 last year because we only played 60 games. So
correct.
But yeah, I mean, what?
So I do got a little. So first day was today, right? Alec Lewis, who's on Twitter, he follows the Royals. He says Royals manager Mike Matheny on, of course, spring training day one. His quotes were, "You feel a buzz around here. I wish you guys were around. You'd sense it. We just watched 22 bullpens. The stuff we're seeing is advanced, even for the young guys." And then Matheny's, of course, everybody's favorite line right now from Matheny. My favorite line right now, it's a great time to be a Royal. And that just drives some confidence coming into the spring training, day one.
It's a great time to be a Leaf, too. So, be a Royal, be a Leaf. So, it's a great time. I think they're headed in the right direction. But actually, before I talk more about the Royals here, I actually wanted to ask you guys, because we just had Valentine's Day a few days ago. What did you guys do for your significant others on Valentine's Day, if anything?
So I actually ordered some flowers for my wife, and then I got me and Tinsley, my daughter, we got her a little a desktop frame, like set, where pictures, like 4 different pictures of kind of the past year. So that's what we did for Valentine's Day.
Well, that's nice. What about you, Jason? Anything?
Yeah, you know, I just took my wife out to one of her favorite restaurants, and I just basically let her pick the meal, you know?
Yeah.
It's a place that I like. It's a place that we both like. It's called Enjoy. Pure Food and Drink. It's at Mission Farms.
Okay.
And, you know, it's like one of her favorite restaurants. And, you know, I wasn't like, they had like a very shortened menu, so there weren't a lot of choices on there. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, this is where you want to go. We're going to go there no matter what. And I actually enjoyed the meal. It was a great time. So that's what we did. And then for my daughter, I just gave her a Valentine's card. And she really liked the Valentine's card that I gave her.
That's nice. You'll be having to give gifts to 2 women every year from going forward, I suppose. So keep that in mind, Jason, as you get older. And Tanner, you as well.
Yeah, no worries.
You both have daughters.
I already know about it.
You know, the fatherly love is the most important thing a daughter can have. So we all know that. I just, all I did was hang out with the girlfriend for a little bit. She's a big NASCAR fan, so we tried to watch the NASCAR, which we did, but they had a big wreck in the first 15 laps that wiped out multiple cars. And then there was a rain delay. So it was like a 6-hour rain delay going on. And so basically, during a snowstorm in Kansas City, we just hung out at the apartment, drank a little bit, and waited for the race to start back up again.
Yep.
Eventually it did, and the ending was very cool, actually. At the very end, I think it was Chase Elliott was in the lead for a while, and there was somebody else, but then they had a collision at the very end, and then Michael McDowell ended up kind of splitting them through the crash on the very last lap to get the victory. So the guy that was in third place throughout the last few laps ended up getting the victory due to 1 and 2 having a wreck.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So tell me a little bit about this race. Was this more interesting than Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights? Because that's the extent of my NASCAR knowledge.
Oh,
That's-
Is it
bruh!
more interesting or less interesting?
That's tough to beat because Ricky Bobby's pretty special and he's a good character.
Ricky
so-
Bobby's a stud.
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably
If you're
best
not
driver
first,
I've
you're
ever seen.
last.
And so I would say I'd rather watch Ricky Bobby
Okay.
than I would
All
NASCAR
right.
in general.
Shake and
But
bake?
NASCAR's growing on me.
Yeah, shake and bake, right?
Shake and bake, baby. You know, shaking babies and
Baby Jesus.
kissing heads. All right. Well, anyways, now we got that out of the way, you guys out there. Now you guys know that we're all freaking idiots. So
I
back
think
to
they
the
already
Royals
knew
for just a
that.
few minutes here. I did see a projection, Jason, actually come out this week from what's it called again? It's the official projection. It's like, is it Pacoda or something like that?
Yeah, but,
What's it called?
I can't
It's
remember the full
basically
name.
the baseball equivalent of Pro Football
It's
Focus.
like a farmer's
Okay.
almanac for baseball.
But it's like nobody knows
It's
the
out of
name of
date.
it because nobody really gives a shit.
It's out of
It's
date.
not like as well respected as Pro Football Focus.
Okay. Well, anyways, they had the Royals listed as a 72-90 record for this season as their projection, and I felt that was a little low. We might have differing opinions on this, but I think that some of the additions the Royals made, especially offensively, are going to go a long ways. I do actually, after we talked about it last week, I like the addition of Andrew Benintendi. He actually is a very good versatile player and could actually be the leadoff hitter on this club. I do think Merrifield should still be the leadoff guy for now, but the addition of him, as well as adding in a guy like Carlos Santana,
Yes.
was a good addition.
Kind of a
Even at
big bat.
35 years old, I still like the idea
It's
of
still
adding
a
his
big
bat
bat,
to the
man.
mix. And otherwise, the bottom of the rotation offensively is what gets me worried because we got a couple guys still. Nicky Lopez is not impressive, and then Michael Taylor is not impressive. Those are the two guys. If you get down to the bottom of the order against the Royals, you can shut us down. So we're to be, offensively, be strategic about how we go about things. But I do like the potential there within the offense, and guys like Soler there still. Hunter Dozier is going to make a big step up, and hopefully Alberto Mondesi makes a big leap as well.
So Alberto Mondesi was actually one of the MLB Network's top guys to come out of his shell finally this year. He's predicted that, and it's very possible. The guy has full potential, but his only downfall is, can he stay healthy? Can he stay healthy for 90% of the year at least? Maybe get hurt. If he's going to get hurt, at least get hurt in the middle. But he's always towards the end of the year because he's so aggressive on the base pass. He's so aggressive in the field that it does tear your body up. So, can the guy stay healthy? That's what we got to know.
I mean, when you look at a guy like Adalberto Mondesi, he's kind of like the Anthony Davis of MLB. More on Anthony Davis later. But he's like, is he going to get injured every single year or what's going on? So, I mean, I'm not counting on him to have a breakout season. I mean, like you said, 72-90, is that what we're going with for the Royals this year?
So there's also another stat came out, right? 72-90, it was the stat, but we also got a 10% chance to make the postseason. Now, Connor's guy, Seattle Mariners, is a 0.7% chance. And the Baltimore Orioles, guys, there's no love there. It's a 0.0% chance of making the postseason on that team.
Wow, that is
So
not
I like
good.
my 10% as a Royals fan, and I think we'll be middle of the pack. I don't think we'll be dead last this year. Indians are selling, and they let go a lot of people, a lot of good people. The White Sox and Twins, I think, are still going to be the favored this year just because of the young team the White Sox have developed through their pen. But I like the Royals to be in competition early, but I don't think we can have the duration throughout the whole season.
All right, so for 72-90, I want to know, are you guys taking the over and the under? Because 72-90, that's a 444 win percentage. And last year, the Royals were 433 win percentage. So, I mean, are you going over or under here with the Royals? Because right now, the Royals are 500-1 to win the championship. And they also have a 0.1% or a 1% chance of winning the division.
I'm going under, guys. I'm going under. I think we'll be a 60-plus team, but I think we'll get to at least 60 wins, but I don't like our chances of actually hitting that 72 mark.
Yeah, I'm going to go slightly over on that, and I'm just going to put them right around like a 77 win mark, somewhere around there, just because I do think there is potential with some of the guys. Why are you guys laughing about this? This is
Sorry.
a serious thing
No,
going on.
no.
Well, here's the thing, guys. So if you're thinking they're going to hit 72 and 90, it's not going to happen unless you strike lightning in a bottle. So the one team that I can think of where the Royals overachieved was the 2003 team, and they had zero expectations that year. They went 83 and 79, which is a 500. I'm not thinking that's going to happen this year, but the bottom line for me is you gotta be thinking we want to tank this year, right? Because you always want to get high draft picks, right? So is this a rebuilding year, or are we going to try to win the whole thing? You can't just play it in the middle.
No. Look, this is a developing year, right? We got tons of young guys. We got young guys on the mound. We got young guys that's depth. A lot of guys are coming out from the minor leagues this year. This is the developing year. Just like last year was kind of like, hey, let's see what we got. This is more like, all right, we saw what we got last year. Now we need to really develop what we have as the MLB level, and then we go from there. This isn't going to be a championship team this year, but you give it a couple years, and I guarantee you we get some key pieces.
Tanner,
we're going
isn't
to
the
be there.
pitching a little scary, though, when you look at our staff?
No, they're just
we
young.
talked about the offense, but the pitching is not
The pitching's
good.
just young, man.
No, they're just bad.
No,
Danny
they're
Duffy's
young.
not young.
Right.
And he's not good.
So-
Brad Keller, Mike Minor, Brady Singer, yeah, he's young, but they haven't
Brady
done
Senior
anything.
is freaking amazing, first off.
I mean, these guys have a lot to prove.
Yes, no, they do. Brady Senior was in the single double A the year before it. Then last year with the whole COVID thing, he came out to pitch MLB level and actually performed really well for a guy that just kind of got threw into it. Like the guy is like you got to give him another year here to see what happens.
Yeah, so like if we're saying that the pitching sucks, then Mike, why are you going with the over?
Yeah,
why
why
think
would
they're
you
gonna
go over if you know
Because
the pitching
in
sucks?
72 games?
Similar to that 2003 team you just mentioned, they were all offense. And it was a team that was able to just play great offense even though pitching struggled. This team right now, I believe, is built very similarly in that regard. Back then, I think we had guys like Darryl May pitching and stuff like that who were, they would have moments, but overall they would blow games out too. And so I think at the time, though, the Royals had guys on the team like, as I'm wearing right now, Mike Sweeney, Carlos Beltran was still alive then. And
Still alive. You mean Johnny Damon too, right?
Yeah,
What about Kevin Appier? Was
Kevin
he alive
Appier
too?
was already gone by that
Is he
point.
still alive?
He was gone by then.
Somebody on that
Okay.
team's dead for sure, though. I'm just not sure who it is. But there was an offense there full of explosion, and if you look back, I think they were ranked in the top 10 or top 5
Yeah.
of scoring that year, and the pitching was bad. I think this team could be similar as long as they put things together the right way. But also, they brought back Wade Davis is back.
WD-40.
WD,
And-
man.
Love it. I love it.
I actually had a question on Twitter for you guys that I posted out there. What is your favorite Royals offseason acquisition? I had Carlos Santana, Andrew Benintendi, Wade Davis, or Hanser Alberto, which I know nothing about him, to be honest. But you guys went with Andrew Benintendi as your favorite player that the acquisition the Royals made, which makes sense.
Yep.
He seems to be the one with the most potential. But Wade Davis got no love. No one wanted him. No one cared.
No, he's old. He's past his prime,
man.
dude.
What about Greg Holland?
Dude, I don't
All
know.
right, all right. Let me just throw one thing out here, okay? Because you're looking at a guy like Greg Holland, right? He's got a 2.90 ERA for his career. Wade Davis 3.7 for his career. What do you guys think about this? Could we bring back the old HDH? Because Kelvin Herrera is actually a free agent right now with a 3.15 career ERA. He's only 31 years old. Could we bring back HDH?
That would be pretty funny, actually. You know what it reminds me of a little bit? It reminds me a little bit about like when pro wrestling brings back old wrestlers from like the 90s and they bring them back for a match kind of in the middle of nowhere, like when Sting came back or when DX reformed. Remember that? Like when DX came back, remember when X-Pac got back and it was like you had Kevin Nash and all those guys got back together. Then Triple H and Shawn Michaels were together again. Stuff like that. Like those are some of my favorite of all time pro wrestlers. And so it reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah, but it's
Makes
like,
sense?
but
No,
Herrera's only
no.
31 years old. It's
No.
not like you're
But it's
bringing
also-
a guy back. He's still young.
But if you're bringing back the old HDH, you're bringing
Okay.
back like an old tandem It was
All
at
right.
one point amazing.
No.
Wrestling tag
Isn't he
team of all
dead?
time, you guys.
Tag team?
It would be like, okay, the Hardy Boys reuniting. When the Hardy Boys got back together and reunited for a bunch of matches, it'd be like that for the Royals because it's kind of a joke, but it's also fun to watch. So that'll be like that for the Royals if they brought back.
You're not
Kelvin
bringing
Herrera.
back 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys from our championship team.
Why wouldn't you
It's
do it?
not
Two
the
of
same.
the 3 guys are already there.
No, look, it's not the same.
Tanner,
Wade
The third
Davis.
guy's 31 years old. He's a free
Tanner,
agent. Why
do you want
wouldn't you bring
cardboard
him back?
cutouts? Hey,
Why
do
do
you
you
want
think the
cardboard
guy's
cutouts
free
in
agent?
seats, or do you want real asses in seats?
What?
I said, do you want cardboard cutouts in seats, or do you want real asses in seats? Because HDH will put asses in
Look,
seats.
Please don't tell me you're going to bring back Joaquim Soria instead of
Again?
Kelvin Herrera.
Again, we already
I'm
brought
sure
back
you would
Soria.
do that.
Wait. So what's your 7, 8, 9? Tell me the exact order again.
Well, at this point in their careers, I would probably put Kelvin Herrera as the closer. And then I'd probably put Wade Davis as the 7th inning, Greg Holland as the 8th inning guy.
All right, first off, I don't even know why the hell people are still bringing out Greg Collin onto this freaking team. The guy should have been gone long ago. I've never been a fan of him. And guess what? He's never ever been that good to me. I'm sorry. I could care less. I want Joakim. I take Soria back before I take
Yogi
him.
Berra?
So Wade Davis is on a AA contract right now. He's not actually on the MLB team. He's got the invites to spring training and everything. Guys, these guys, there's a reason why they are on these contracts. This is not the same three-peat you saw before. Okay? There's a reason why. Because they've been figured out, and now they get beat every time. Wade Davis is back to pretty much how he was a starter. Why he went to the bullpen in the first place?
Yeah.
Because he got
succeeded there.
figured out. He got figured out. And guess what? That's why he's back on the AA. We don't want none of that. We don't want none of that. Holland sucked.
But
The Royals-
that's
the
the whole
Royals-
point.
The Royals
That's the whole
bullpen
point.
is trash.
Look,
Why would you bring these fucking guys back if you're not going to tank the season and get a high draft pick?
So- at least then it's
so
fun to
what
watch.
are you just want to put asses in the
what I was
seats?
saying.
Yes!
That's it?
I don't want
Yes,
cardboard
then you
cutouts.
bring
sell
him back.
tickets.
Go get Hosmer. Go get Moustakas.
Well, it's going to cost money.
Kane.
It's going to cost money.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well,
These other
Sherman
guys-
actually will spend money.
These other guys will probably, yeah.
Sherman would.
All these guys
We
out
wanna
there
see
that
it.
think these guys are going to win 72 games
Look,
are dreamers.
I'm
You
not
guys are
looking to fill
dreamers.
seats. I'm looking to win games here.
I
don't want those guys-
This is all about.
Give me
dude,
the young guys. Stama.
Let me tell you right now, the whole franchise is based on Bobby Witt Jr. right now. You know how old he is right now? He's 21 years old. So this year doesn't mean shit.
No,
we want to
no.
build through the draft,
No,
and we want to be good
We-
when Bobby Witt Jr.
we
is
have
good,
to-
which
I
is
agree.
like 2 years from now.
We
Yeah, I agree
have
with that.
We're not going to do shit this year.
We have to develop you have to develop these pitchers that we got. These young guys, Brady Senior, get these guys going. So when
Yes.
Bobby Witt does come
I
up,
agree with you. We are going to develop this year. That means we're going to have a shitty record.
I don't want Wade Davis out there. I don't want Greg Collin out there.
Well, I know the other guys are terrible too. They're all bad.
At least they're young and trying to be terrible.
Young and terrible.
I don't care about
That's why I
No.
say if you bring back the HDH,
No.
you're going to sell tickets at the same time as you're developing the other younger players.
Yeah, that's what I think. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd bring him back. I'd do that.
But
It'd be
no,
fun.
fuck the 72 games. That shit's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are dreamers.
Well,
if you
I
think
remember
that's
one
gonna
time when I was a kid, I caught a foul ball, and it was their 100th loss. And I was so happy because I caught something historical. One of their 100 loss seasons, and I wrote on the ball 100 losses, and I was excited to keep that ball forever.
Wait a second. Did you say you wrote on your balls?
One ball.
Oh,
And
one
I
ball.
said
Okay, yeah,
100
just to be
losses
clear
on the
on that.
ball. That's all I wrote on there.
All right.
Because I was
I
proud of that.
misunderstood you on that.
Yeah, guys, you guys are getting a little wild right now.
Oh, man.
I got to tame it down real quick. I have a big, serious question so we can move on to the main topic of the show, which is, who is your favorite pro wrestler of all time?
It's without trying to be mainstream, but dude, Stone Cold's probably my favorite.
He's going to
Just
kill Stone Cold.
Just because I love the attitude, man. That's the attitude. That's what I.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
like
love
that
about it.
aggression. I like that aggression he had.
Like he came in, took like badass, right?
Texas Rattlesnake. I actually love Stone Cold. He's actually my favorite. My second favorite.
Hey, yeah, dude.
Well, I like Shawn Michaels too. Shawn Michaels was the show. I mean, he was amazing to watch.
Shawn
I
Michaels
liked,
was great.
I liked Rob Van Dam. He was fun to watch. He's probably still getting high right now. And then The Rock, of course, was amazing. He did not wrestle long enough. It was sad to see him go when the time came.
What about the guy still going? How about Goldberg?
He sucks. Yeah, he sucks.
Goldberg, man, he's still going out there.
Big credit to Triple H. Triple H was an amazing pro wrestler. People out there are probably like, oh, Undertaker. Well, he should have retired 10 years ago. Instead, he wanted to be an old fart and go out there and make some money once a year at WrestleMania and get his ass kicked. So, Brock Lesnar was a good wrestler, but he was kind of a gimmick at some point. It got to where you knew what to expect, and his matches no longer even matter. So,
No.
I haven't watched wrestling in 2 years now, but I got to go for me, Stone Cold. So we're both going Stone Cold then?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Jason,
I mean, I don't have a lot to say about this, but I'm going to go with the one and only, the Black Scorpion, Ric Flair.
Ric Flair,
My favorite wrestler of all time.
The Nature Boy?
The Nature Boy, because he was a big baller, right?
Yeah.
That's how you can identify me. That's how I identify my favorite wrestler of all time. He was a big baller, man.
You can let it out, man. Give him a big woo.
Big baller.
Give him a big woo.
Yeah, Eric. So Eric's got it right. You said WFF. Get out of here. WWF sucked. WCW was legit.
Oh my gosh.
That's exactly what Eric said.
Well,
baby.
one of those companies folded.
DDP.
Woo!
Duh!
WCW folded and was bought out by WWE. So obviously, one of them won the Monday Night Wars, and it was not WCW. So therefore, Vince McMahon won that shit. So
Shout out to Dusty Rhodes, though. He was my
Dusty
honorable
Rhodes.
mention as my favorite wrestler of all time. Dusty Rhodes.
yep, Dusty Rhodes.
Yes, sir.
Rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes, which is also the father of Gold Dust. So, you guys out there,
And
what, Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes of AEW, who had
Yeah.
started his own wrestling pretty much.
Yeah,
Actually, props to Cody on that. So,
there's some good talent out there, but it's becoming harder to find these days, I believe.
yeah.
Wrestling's not quite as fun as it used to be.
Anybody else got any comments on that? Like,
No, just I want you guys' official prediction. So there's supposed to be 72 and 90 of the Royals. Going
Yes.
back to the Royals just for 1 second. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but what's your official prediction? Because I'm going with 69 wins
I was
this
going
year.
69 wins because those are going to be super nice.
69.
Those are going to be super nice.
What do you got there? Mike?
77 wins is my
He's
pick.
going with the over.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Take it to the bank.
Going with a
There you
big
go.
year for the Royals. They're going to get a little lucky. All right, so switching gears real quick to the actual serious topic, I think. Well, unless you want to be too serious, because we're buffoons. We don't really do that too often. But
Are we wishing Michael Jordan a happy 58th?
oh, yeah, happy birthday, Michael Jordan out there. Yep. 58 years old. He is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. That's right. We said it. The GOAT, basketball player of all time. Not of sports, because Tom Brady is the GOAT of sports. I don't care what Jason says about this. He's the GOAT. He's going to go about percentages here for a bit, but
75, 87.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Michael Jordan could play quarterback better than Tom Brady could play point guard or shooting guard. I'm just throwing that out there. Jordan's a slightly
we're live on air, and I do
6-0.
not want to get myself in trouble.
What's Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals, Tanner? Is he 6-0?
We're not.
Is he
We're not.
undefeated?
We're not really talking
What's
about
Tom
that
Brady?
right now.
All right, moving right along.
So, Jason, you had some NBA topics today that you were thinking quite a bit about the past week. I know for me, I was watching throughout the week, and I really admire the Suns, the way they've been playing, and the fact that do not give up on the Nets. They have a healthy team again, and I think that the Nets showcased what they're capable of, being down 24 points, coming back to get a victory over the Suns. But with that aside for now, I just wanted to put that comment out there. What do you think is going on in the NBA right now, Jason? What's on your mind?
Well, you know, I love what the Suns are doing, but I mean, right now they're 17-10, so they're sitting kind of in the middle of the Western Conference. But the big question I have for you guys right now is, you know, when you look at the NFL, so Tom Brady, we all know he's going to retire one of these days, and we all know that Patrick Mahomes is going to be the face of the NFL. So I got a big question for you guys. Who is going to be the new face of the NBA when LeBron James retires? And so we've got a few names that we're going to go over right now, and I want to see what you guys think out there because, I mean, there's a lot of names. There's guys that are in high school right now, okay? And nobody knows who is going to be the face of the NBA. So let's start out with Giannis Antetokounmpo. what do you guys think about Giannis? Is he the new face of the NBA?
No, I don't think he's the new face. I think he's a pretty strong defensive guy. He's going to lead the Bucks. He'll be in the top 5 category. But Giannis is not going to be the new face, the new LeBron James of the league.
All right, Mike, you got any thoughts on that?
I mean, he's good. He's a good player. I don't see him being like the face of the NBA by any means. When you talk about the face,
Too many struggles.
I agree. But also you got to take into a lot of things into account. When you talk about the face, he's got to be marketable, and I don't know if he's as marketable as some other names out there. There's a young ball that could be a marketable guy. So I think that's something to keep in mind as you guys kind of drooled over him last week being the next Kobe. But I'm going to go with a no on the Giannis.
All right, so Giannis is not the new face of the NBA. I think the big problem with Giannis is that he's in a small market. And so I think that if he was on a bigger market team like Brooklyn or maybe the New York Knicks, he might be a little bit more marketable. I mean, he's throwing up some stats. I mean, he's got a lifetime 52% field goal percentage, not as good from three-point land. But he's averaging 9 rebounds a game, 3 assists and 1 block. But most important thing, guys, Giannis doesn't have any rings. So as we go through this list, I want you guys to ask yourself this question. Who's going to be the first guy right now that doesn't have any rings? Who's going to be the first guy to get a ring? And so Giannis right now, he's got 0 rings. By the way, Giannis, I mean, he's 26 years old, 6'11". Kawhi Leonard, just as a comparison, got his first ring when he was 22 years old. So if I'm sitting there as Giannis Antetokounmpo and I'm 26, I'm sitting there looking at a guy like Kawhi. I was like, wow, he got his first ring at age 22. Well, what do I have to do to get on Kawhi's level? What do you guys think about that?
What do you have to do? First off, real quick on your market piece of that. It doesn't matter. If he was in a bigger market, he'd be overshadowed, is what it is. So Giannis, whether defensive guy, inside guy, you have to have a multi-talented ball. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the free throws because he doesn't shoot free throws worth a shit. He's 72%. And I don't even want to touch the three-point percentage. I'd be embarrassed to throw that fucking number out there.
Brooke Lopez has a better one.
But as far as Giannis, yeah, I mean, he's got a lot to prove. But moving on to the next guy, next face of the NBA, what do you guys think about Joel Embiid, 7-foot center out of Philadelphia, and he is 26 years old? And what do you guys think about him being the next face of the NBA?
Look, as a Jayhawk fan, a Joel Embiid fan, the process, right? The guy's not going to be the next face of the NBA. He had his chance to really be in that spot, but it's just not going to work out, man. You did not consistently keep that spotlight. You're always kind of hurt. You're always in and out of the game. You're dominant when on the field, but no. But thinking about a ring conversation so far, Joel Embiid has a better chance of winning a ring with Doc Rivers, Ben Simmons, and the other guys around him. So I could see that happen a lot quicker than Giannis right now.
I think it comes down to a lot of it's positional because I do like Embiid, but I think that we're talking about the face of the NBA going forward. I think it's more marketable to be a point guard or shooting guard. And for whatever reason, those guys get more credibility to their name. And like you guys got guys like Russell Westbrook, obviously Steph Curry, very marketable guys who are shooters, big-time three-point shooters. Those guys are going to be more well-known, stand out more in marketable type of atmospheres than someone like Embiid, who's a center. So I think that's something to take into account. And I think he's got a future still in the NBA, of course, but I don't think he's going to be anything marketable to be the face by any means after LeBron James.
Yeah, my whole thing about Joel Embiid is that he would definitely be the face of the NBA if he could stay healthy. And he's basically a modern-day Wilt Chamberlain, guys. You guys remember Wilt Chamberlain? No, you don't, because you're not that old, and I'm not that old.
He's a Jayhawk, baby.
But, I mean, what did he put up, 100 points in a game one time?
Yeah.
So Joel Embiid is like a modern-day Wilt Chamberlain. He's only 26, 7 feet tall. He's got a 48% field goal percentage. And, oh, by the way, he does something that Wilt Chamberlain didn't do back in the day. They didn't have a three-point line back then, but Joel Embiid can shoot threes.
The guy's a baller.
And he also shoots 80% free throws, 11.5 rebounds, 2 blocks per game. And when you pair him with a guy like Ben Simmons, if they could just develop those guys at the same time, I mean, I think those guys they could both kind of be the face of the NBA at the same time. If they can produce, develop, and win championships.
Yeah, but they haven't. That's the thing. They've been together for, 3 years now, 4 years now? Granted that they've gotten to the conference finals each time, but they have not gotten past that point together. And one of them or the other is hurt. Ben Simmons has his issues with shooting, the three-point percentage. And he's developed. He's worked on it. Joel Embiid, of course, is great there. But these two guys together right now, they haven't gotten to that point. They have a good chance, especially with Doc Rivers at the helm now. But they haven't gotten there, and that's the issue that they have.
Yeah, my whole thing with these guys is they keep trying to say, okay, which are we going to trade away Ben Simmons, or what are we going to do with this team? I seriously hope that they keep both of them together because, dude, Ben Simmons is only 24 years old. And Doc Rivers has said, yeah, I know he doesn't shoot threes. He doesn't want to shoot threes. So I'm not going to make him shoot threes. But, he's already averaging like 8 rebounds and 8 assists for his career. So why wouldn't you try to keep those two guys together? I mean, Ben Simmons is a 6'11" point forward. I mean, these guys are still up and coming. So I feel like we need to give these guys, let's see what happens at the end of this year.
Like I said,
as far as those two guys.
Doc Rivers is at the helm. This could be the extra hump that they need.
All right. So if we're not saying that Joel Embiid is the face of the league when LeBron retires, what about a guy by the name of LaMelo Ball? 6'6", 19 years old. He's only played 28 games in the league, averaging 14 points, 43% field goal percentage, 35% though from three-point land, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steals. I just want to throw this out again. I know I mentioned this last week, but LaMelo Ball is 19 years old, guys. You guys understand that Kobe Bryant in his 19-year-old season had worse numbers than LaMelo Ball. Okay?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Yeah, but so LaMelo Ball has the same exact field goal percentage as Kobe Bryant did in Kobe's second season in the NBA. And LaMelo's only a rookie. But the difference is LaMelo Ball is averaging more rebounds, more assists. I mean, Kobe only averaged like 3 rebounds and 2 assists in his 19-year-old season. And so that's why I keep comparing these two guys. So I want to know you guys' opinion on this. Is LaMelo Ball the new face of the NBA when LeBron retires?
What's funny about that, actually, Jason, is that, the rapper
That's very true.
LeVar actually came out and said, I don't talk about no rappers, I talk about ball players, and Lil Dicky ain't no ball player. That was LeVar's words talking about Lil Dicky.
He's a rec league champ.
That's what I mean. Lil Dicky's a rec league champ. Lil Dicky could be the face of the NBA when it all comes down to it.
He should be the face of the NBA, but he's not on the list. So what do you think about LaMelo?
So LaMelo, I think, is the future face, or can be a future face of the NBA when LeBron James is done. And here's the thing why that is. Like I said earlier, positional things do matter, I think. Unless you're Shaquille O'Neal, I think positional value matters when it comes to marketability of face of a league. Now, LeBron's going to have another, 4 years left of playing?
No, hell no.
3?
No, he's done in like 2 years.
You think he's done in 2 years? Okay.
LeBron will
Let's
be
even
on
say
for
2 years.
3 to 4.
LaMelo, at this point, like you said, is 19. He'll be 21, 22 at that point when LeBron is just about done. I do think LeBron plays another 3 years at least at a high level. But I think that LaMelo at that point will be coming in, transitioning, and becoming a quality player, as well as marketable with that name, with having a very well-known father figure, and also brothers in the league as well. So those are all things to take into account, and I think he's going to be the one that stands out.
That's great. So LaMelo does have that marketing background with his dad, with the history of Alonzo, right?
Yep.
So that's all there. That's all perfect for him. LaMelo's also putting up numbers in his rookie year the way that you wanted to put up numbers. No, you're not.
No, in this day and age, it's not going to be that difficult to get out of Charlotte. I mean, we saw it with Kawhi Leonard with the Spurs. We saw
Kemba
it with
Walker.
James Harden with the Rockets. I mean, when these guys want to get out of there, I mean, even if you want to go all the way back to like Kevin Garnett, I mean, he wasted a lot of time in Minnesota, but eventually got out of there. LaMelo's not going to wait that long, okay? He wants to win as soon as possible. And so for me, I think we're all in agreement that LaMelo Ball could be the future face of the NBA. And my only issue with that is that I've got one person, guys, that I have not mentioned yet that could be competing with LaMelo as being the new face of the NBA. Do you know who it is? It's a guy by the name of
KD.
Bronny James is only 16. That's 3 years difference. So Bronny James, I mean, he's thinking about going to, I think they had the schools of interest as Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, North Carolina, UCLA. I mean, what's going to happen with Bronny? I mean, is this going to be like kind of like a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson thing where they all just kind of they go against each other and they're kind of like even for their whole careers?
Yeah, in a way. I think so. I think Bronny goes to Duke because that's where Zion, a lot of these guys went, right? I think Duke has the best possibility to get him outside of Kentucky, too. But Bronny James has a chance, but I feel like it's only a chance because of LeBron, right? So I don't feel like Bronny has a lot to prove himself, and he has a lot to do. So the guy has to be dominant, like LaMelo is right now. So there's a lot of work for Bronny to do still, even when he gets in the league. He has to be dominant in college and then dominant in his first 3-4 seasons in the NBA. So there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch going forward. Mike, do you have any thoughts on Bronny? Do you think he's going to be a stud?
I don't know much about Bronny James, but I think that the name is very funny just because it's like a LeBron James nickname almost, it sounds like. So, I mean, he's 16 years old, so I'm not going to speak on underage people. But so I think that we'll see how it plays out for him, and maybe he'll be good. I don't know.
It's all going to be a wait and see
He'll go,
kind of
Duke
deal.
for 1 year and then in an NBA?
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying, Tanner?
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll go Duke for the 1 year and then head to the NBA.
Is there room
draft.
for him to grow, you think? He's 6'2".
Oh, by far.
He's going to get, what,
I think
6'6"?
he'll hit 6'4" at least.
6'4"?
So why do you guys think he's going to go to Duke instead of following in Michael's footsteps and going to North Carolina?
Because nobody cares about Michael's footsteps. They want to make their own legacy. They want to go to Duke. They'll do Kentucky. If he goes to KU, I'm going to be pumped, but I'm going to be really harsh on him even more. So,
KU did just win just now, actually, Tanner. Good, there you go.
well, yeah, they play K-State. They're nothing.
Wow.
So, anyways.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to bring we'll bring my brother on next
Yes.
weekend and see what he thinks about bringing Bronny
Dude,
onto
man,
the KU Jayhawks.
if we get Bronny, it's Bill Self's biggest year of his career. So, biggest recruit at least. So, Josh Jackson was all right. But anyways, I just think he goes to Duke just because Coach K, if he doesn't go there, he's going to go to Kentucky. It's one of those two schools. KU's in the loop, UCLA's in the loop, but UCLA has been relevant for 10 years. KU's been relevant. They got some good young recruits, so it's going to be all about playing time. Duke and Kentucky, they don't care. They're going to start Bronny over anybody. So, I don't know.
Did you see that Gilbert Arenas called Bronny the clone of LeBron James?
We'll see.
He says he's the same player.
Look,
as
man,
LeBron.
there's still a lot of time. The guy's only 16. We got to take some time here.
We got a
See what
long way to
actually
go,
happens.
but my vote is for LaMelo Ball to be the new face of the NBA. But speaking of
Is that your list, by the way?
no, that's my list. You can add another person if you want.
Why not Zion Williamson?
Zion.
Zion.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, come on. Like, what? Like, why not him? What's wrong? Why is he not on your list? Or Luka? Why not Luka?
Yeah, so the thing about Luka is, like, he's basically, like, very similar to Dirk Nowitzki, right? He
Okay.
reminds me a lot of Dirk Nowitzki, and Dirk only won one ring, right? So how many rings do you think Luka's going to win on the Mavs? And how marketable do you think he is going to be as a European player? Because, you know, when you look at guys in the NBA and people who you might think are going to be the new face of the league, I mean, it's just European players, they don't get a lot of recognition. So that's why I'm not big on Luka. But as far as Zion, I mean, the guy, he reminds me is like an oversized Charles Barkley. And I know that's very, like, That's
The
very
guy's-
terrible to say, but
terrible, right?
I mean,
Terrible.
yeah, it's very terrible to say,
Terrible.
but my gosh, dude, like that, he jumps so high, and he's such an athletic freak
Yes.
that I believe he's going to put so much torque on those knees that he's just not going to last. I mean, I think he's going to be a guy similar to Anthony Davis, but he's going to get injured more often than Anthony
Just
Davis.
because of
And
his
so-
body size and his aggressiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he's lucky, remember when Greg Oden came into the league?
No, that was a disaster.
Greg Oden, it was a complete disaster. I feel like Zion is going to be kind of in that same boat, and I hope to God that he's going to be on kind of like a Grant Hill level. We all thought that Grant Hill was going to be the next Michael Jordan until he started getting injured all the time. Well, Grant Hill didn't weigh anything close to Zion Williamson.
No.
And so I just think the weight is going to be an issue, and all that torque on his knees is going to be an issue. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of Zion, but I just don't think it's going to last. And I even compare him to a guy like Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is a 7-footer, and he's having issues in his career staying healthy.
Yeah, since college, actually. So, one last guy, real quick. Damian Lillard. Why can't DL be the face of the league after LeBron leaves in 3 years?
Well, we're going to save that for the next segment.
Okay.
I don't have a whole
Okay.
lot to say about Dame time right now. He's a big baller. But let's just
He a big
let's
baller.
just save that. We're going to save that for the next
That's
segment.
fair.
But
He's also a little older too, Tanner. He's been around a while. So when you're talking about face of the league, like a lot of times you like to market your younger quality talent.
That's fair.
And at 30 years old, I think at that point, I'd rather guys more like Steph Curry and all them and Harden even are probably more likely to get face time than a guy like Lillard is.
yeah, when you're talking about a guy like Dame Lillard, you're going to compare him to guys like Steph Curry.
John Wall.
And the problem is when you're a small guard like that, you got guys like Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving that you're going to be compared to. Now, if I'm sitting here and I'm playing a game of one-on-one, who would you guys bet on? If you're playing a game of one-on-one, would you take Dame Lillard over Steph Curry, or would you take Dame Lillard over Kyrie Irving? You would not take Dame Lillard over either one of those
I'm taking
guys.
DL over both of them, dude.
No, hell no.
Over
you
both of them.
Hell no, you
Are
would
you
not.
kidding me?
You would lose both of those bets,
Are
dude.
you kidding me?
Who's got more rings?
Who cares? If
Who's
you're
got
putting
better
them one-on-one, they don't have a team behind them.
All right, we're going to hold that off for later. We
This is
got a
going to get
different segment.
aggressive if we keep going.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're going to hold off the Dame time. I'm a big fan of Dame time. We're going to hold that off till later. But going back to Bronny James, we got to talk about his dad a little bit for right now because I got a question for you guys. Are the Lakers cooked right now? Because Anthony Davis just got injured. He's going to be evaluated in 2 to 3 weeks. But if you guys ever listen to this show, my name is JG. I give my own timetable. So whenever they say it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks, we all know that's going to be 6 to 8 weeks because Anthony Davis has a right calf strain. And Kyle Kuzma is now going to be the starter of that team. So Montrezl Harrell's going to get a few more minutes. LeBron's going to get some, dare I say, load management right there. So 36 years old. What do you guys think of the Lakers? Are they cooked this year? Are they going to make the Western Conference Finals? Are they going to make it to the championship game? What's the end-all, be-all for the Lakers this year?
Mike?
And I'll be off for the
start, man.
Lakers. I think that they had their time. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Lakers right now, especially considering what we just learned about. And I don't see them really going very far. Personally, I've never really been a Lakers guy anyway. Never liked the Lakers, so I am in favor of watching other teams like hopefully Bucks, Nets, Suns, etc. do well and continue on. But Lakers for me, you guys like to talk about them, so you guys can have at it on that one.
Yeah, when the Nets made this big James Harden trade, I said at that point, this is going to be an interesting NBA Finals. I said it's going to be Lakers and Nets, and I said it's basically going to be whoever doesn't get injured is going to win the championship, right? Mm-hmm. So now we got AD injured, and oh, by the way, Kevin Durant is injured. He's got a mild strain with the left hamstring. He's 32 years old. And so, but I said after that Harden trade, I said that the Nets have more talent. So if you're in a vacuum and everybody's healthy, I said that the Nets would win the championship. But I also said that the Lakers had a deeper roster. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking that the Lakers are going to get past this. And I think that if he only has to miss 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks, I feel like the depth of that Lakers roster is going to get them through. And they're not going to have any issues, at least making it to the Western Conference Finals. However, there is a problem right now. We have a team by the name of the Utah Jazz. Mm-hmm. Why do they call them the Utah Jazz? Because they used to be from the city of New Orleans. And they probably should have changed that name when they moved to Utah, but they didn't. But the Utah Jazz are 23-5 right now.
5, guys.
And they have a better record than the LA Lakers. And that was with AD. So now all of a sudden, now you don't have AD. So as you guys all know on this show, what do we look at first? When you're talking to JG, we look at defense. Well, the LA Lakers had the number 1 defense in the league before that AD injury. But guess who had the number 2 defense? That was the Utah Jazz. So how do you see this, Tanner? I mean, if these guys are meeting in the Western Conference Finals and Anthony Davis is rusty, okay? We're making that assumption, but we're really not making that assumption because we know he's going to be rusty. How do you see that playing out in a 7-game series?
Well, gosh, man. The Utah Jazz has a chance to really come alive and stay alive and actually take the number 1 spot this year. They do. Because with AD hurt, and AD is what we call the Eric Berry days of pretty much day-to-day for the rest of the year, right? It's day-to-day. Mm-hmm. And it's Achilles, too, by the way.
Life.
He still has that Achilles injury, and that's scary by itself. That's like a Kevin Durant injury. LeBron James is going to get load management. The Lakers aren't going to be a 1 seed this year with AD out. The load management, like you talked about, it's going down. I don't think the Lakers last against a team with a healthy Jazz at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way in hell. I mean, they're going to take that Achilles injury seriously because they saw what happened to KD a couple of years ago. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to take it seriously, but the problem is when the playoffs start, he's going to be rusty as shit. And
yes.
LeBron James is going to be passing the ball to himself or Dennis Schroeder. And that's a big problem. If you don't have a number 2 guy, who are you going to pass it to? Montrezl Harrell? I mean, who are you going to pass the ball to?
Like, you can't go Kuzma because the guy seems to be afraid to even shoot right now. So,
yeah.
Like, it's rough right now. Like, don't get me wrong. I will never count out a LeBron team because just look at his past, right? The teams he took up to the finals. But without, the teams that are out there now are not like the teams in the past. The Utah Jazz, Gobert, Mitchell right now are completely outstanding. If they keep this pace that they're at, they could be freaking NBA champs, truly. They beat the Nets. They beat the 76ers. They beat the Celtics. And they could take care of the Lakers. The Lakers, 76ers, Nets, and Celtics are probably their biggest threats. And I don't see any of them contending with a healthy Jazz team right now.
Yeah, well, if we're going to be honest right now, I mean, if we were going to play the NBA Finals right now, it is
Jazz.
the Nets versus the Jazz.
Yeah.
And there is no question about that. But, I mean, honestly, right now, I'm taking the Nets to win the whole thing. There's no question about it.
It's because, the Phoenix game last night, KD was out, Kyrie was out, and they were down 24 points, and they ended up James Harden scored up I think it was 35 or something like that, and they ended up coming back from a 24-point deficit to beat the Phoenix Suns in the last quarter. If we see that kind of gameplay from Harden consistently with KD and Kyrie in the mix,
that's a joke, dude.
Is that
an
even
absolute
fair?
Joke. I mean, this is an absolute joke. If somehow the Nets have to go up against the Lakers with a rusty Anthony Davis and a 36-year-old LeBron James, that's a joke. It's going to be a 5-game series. But if you're putting them up against Utah, Like, I actually think Utah would give him a much better fight
by
at
far.
this point because Rudy Gobert, he's an elite defender. Like, he can actually guard somebody.
He's playing like it too right now. It's
Yeah.
completely amazing. I don't know if you saw, but their head coach, Quinn Snyder, is coaching the West All-Stars.
Oh, yeah.
So, like there are 5 losses, guys, coming up to the All-Star break from the Utah Jazz in the division,
Yeah.
same on the West side. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
And it's unfortunate that you had to bring up Quinn Snyder there because it just every time you bring up that name, it just reminds me. I was like, oh yeah, he came from the whose family tree did he come from? San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, he came from the
Yeah,
Spurs.
so he
And went to Mizzou Tigers. you
yeah,
know?
he had an advantage coming from that Spurs family tree. But I mean, I'm just gonna say if I have to throw it out there, it's Brooklyn Nets. I almost said New Jersey Nets. I'm
Again.
not gonna do it
You
again.
did it again.
Don't say it again. But I got to go Brooklyn Nets all the way. And I don't really care who they play. It could be Utah, it could be the Lakers, but nobody's stopping Kyrie and KD and James Harden. That's just not going to
They
happen.
just got to be healthy, though. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's all they got to do is stay healthy. And I called it, a long time ago. But
I think the key for the Nets too is it isn't just healthy. It's they need 2 of the 3 healthy. As in, KD, Harden healthy. They can survive without Kyrie. I think.
all right. So maybe they can get a guy like Andre Drummond, too, to start playing some defense.
Why not Griffin,
Who
dude?
knows? Blake Griffin?
Blake Griffin's
Ooh.
coming to play.
That's very good, Tanner. So that's moving right along into our next topic. So I've got an interesting topic for you guys. Since you brought up a guy by the name of Blake Griffin, we're going to do a topic called Superstar or Bum. Right?
Man.
So there's no middle ground on this topic. You guys got to do either or. I don't want you guys to be wishy-washy. I want a yes or no answer. I want, is he a superstar or a bum? And just because you brought him up, we're going to start with the motherfucker, right? Blake Griffin, right? So he's 32 years old. He'll be 32 in March. He has a career 50% field goal percentage. It's 21 points a game. Superstar or bum?
Well, he was a superstar, but now he's a bum, guys. He is a bum. The guy's been injured. The guy has not led Detroit like he should have been. He hasn't dunked in, I think, 3-4 years now. He actually has not dunked in 3 years, at least. That was Blake Griffin's game. It's the Clippers. So I'm going bum on this one.
Going with a bum.
He's a freaking bum. I'm serious. Like, you got a kid. Talk about an underachiever too.
Yeah.
Coming out of OU and everything, and just being a superstar.
He was great with
And,
the Clippers.
Yeah, he had his moments. Of
He was
course.
fabulous.
I think he had 3 years of good, very good, solid play. But I mean, now at this point, he's 31, which doesn't really matter. It's more about how your body's feeling, and he is just torn up.
His whole
And
game is dunking, and the
he-
guy hasn't dunked in 3 years.
He can't do that anymore because he can't play anymore either. He's too injury prone. He's just a bum.
Well, my whole thing is like, if you haven't dunked in 3 years and you're 32 years old, you must have a really hot girlfriend where you just stop caring, right? I mean, am I right on that, Mike? I mean, he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
Is that what happens? I don't know. I've not seen his girlfriend, so cannot speak on that behalf.
Well, all right. So when we're talking about Blake Griffin, yeah, that's neither here nor there. But going back to Blake Griffin, the best thing that could happen in his career is that he could go back to the Clippers and actually help the Clippers, compete for a championship. Because I mean, nobody ever talks about the Clippers. But if you could get a guy like Blake Griffin in there just to put something, put some points up or something, I mean, would that help them out, Tanner?
I think it would. Maybe they wouldn't choke right before they get to play the Lakers, That'd be kind of nice, especially in a bubble year. Sorry, I had to bring it up from last year. I think he would excel. I think the biggest difference that he's missing right now is coaching, right? He had Doc Rivers all through the Clippers, and he was dominant. Doc left. He became irrelevant. He went to the Pistons, really became irrelevant. Like, if he gets back to a winning culture, a winning coach, it could be a game changer. That's helped a lot of guys in the past, too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the fact that he doesn't have Doc anymore. But, the other biggest issue in his career right now is the fact that he sucks. But moving on to the next guy, we're going to talk about a guy by the name of Karl Anthony Towns. He, for his career, is 53% from the field, 40% from three, 83% from free throw percentage, and 12 rebounds, 1.5 blocks, 23 points per game. He is 25 years old, guys. Is he a superstar or is he a bum?
Look, the guy's a superstar, right? You don't just build around a team like that. So I'd say the guy is a superstar. He is great. He's going to be great. He's only 25, right? He's got a bunch of key pieces that got rid of. So now he's building back up. The guy is the Timberwolves right now. The guy's a superstar. That's what I'm going with.
This is a tough one because this is a more of a middle ground one where this is very harsh.
But there's no middle ground, man.
That's what I mean. This is a very harsh game where I
I
got to go one or the other. And to me, he's more of the middle ground. Like, I don't think he's a superstar or a bum. But if I got to pick one, I'm going to lean more towards the superstar just because he is always there. He's always healthy. I mean, for the most part throughout his career, he's been healthy anyway. So I got to give him credit for that. And he's still young, and I think that he's still on the rise, whereas we saw Blake Griffin was on a big decline. So I'm going to give him the superstar ability there, not a bum one.
Yeah. So here's my issue with Karl Anthony Towns. Every day, this guy wakes up and looks in the mirror, and he sees Kevin Garnett. They're the same freaking guy, all right? He wakes up in the morning, and he plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he's going to waste how many years? Let's do an over-under right now. How many years is he going to waste on the Timberwolves? Because Kevin Garnett wasted the most of his career on the Timberwolves, and then he finally went to a contender and won a championship. So that's my issue with Cat right now, is that when can he get the hell out of there? Because if he's going to stay there forever, I mean, he's going to suck, and he's going to end up like KG and win one championship and not do shit after that.
Well, now he's got his money, right? So now he got a big contract. He got a contract. So now he's probably going to play that contract out until he gets released at least. And then he'll go out. So, yeah, that could be I think he has another 2 years left. So, I mean, we're looking at a couple years at least. But he might resign back. He might be what Giannis is right now in Dame Lillard, where they want to stick with the same team they got drafted on to build that franchise. So, dedication, loyalty. I don't know why these guys have loyalty like Draymond Green says. But, like, why stick around when you can go win a title with somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I know I just compared him to Kevin Garnett, but I got another guy all of a sudden I want to compare him to. It's another guy that used to play for the Timberwolves called Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
And Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns, the reason I compare those two guys is because I don't think they have a lot of fire in their system. They don't have that killer mentality like we used to talk about with Kobe Bryant. And so I'm going to call him a bum, guys. So I've got two bums so far. I've got Blake Griffin and Karl Anthony Towns. Moving right along to the next guy for the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, 6'1", 24 years old. And I'm going to give you his playoff stats, guys, because his playoff stats are actually better than his regular season stats. And Donovan Mitchell has been in the playoffs all 3 years of his career. So in the playoffs, 43% field goal percentage, 37% from three, 88% free throws, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 27 points per game in 3 years in the playoffs of the NBA. So, and that's like 4 points more than his regular season average of 22.7. So Donovan Mitchell, superstar or bum?
Dude, the guy's a freaking superstar. What's his record right now? What place are they in?
Number one.
Number 1, 5 losses. The guy's a superstar. He has always been a superstar since he came into the league. Why are we even talking? Why is he even on this list?
Well, we got to mix it up, Tanner. So I'm trying to give you guys an even balance.
I'd rather giving me like questionable people, but this guy's superstar, man.
They're all questionable, but you know how it is. When you got a 6'1" guard, there's always going to be certain expectations of him, and a lot of 6'1" guards, they just can't accomplish it.
The guy surpassed it. All right, the guy is killer.
But does he have any rings? When's he going to win a ring?
It could be this year.
Okay, so if he wins a ring, then yeah. But in order to be a superstar, or if you want to be the face of the NBA, like we were talking about before, you got to win fucking rings.
Well,
when's he gonna get a ring?
He was one of the guys I was gonna mention to you, but I decided to bring up Damian Lillard instead.
All right.
So, Mike, what are your thoughts on the
Yeah,
superstar Mitchell?
Yeah, obviously he's not a bum by any means whatsoever. I mean, he was all-rookie first team in 2018, and as well as NBA All-Star 2020. So, obviously the guy is at 24 years old. And I know you go on about rings a lot, Jason, but like I said, he's 24 years old. He's been in the league for, 3 years, 4 years now? That's going to take some time, especially when you're playing in a league with a guy like LeBron James.
Okay, hold that thought for a second, right? So, you always give me a hard time about rings. Patrick Mahomes is the face of the NFL. What did he do? Did he win a ring?
He's won one.
He's got a ring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the definition of being the face of the league. You got to get at least one. So do you think Donovan Mitchell is going to get a ring in the next 2 to 3 years?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Patrick Mahomes was the face of the league when he won MVP because we did not win a ring that year. We got to the AFC Championship game in which the defense failed, but after throwing 50 touchdown passes in his first year starting, he was already the face of the league at that point. But he did win a ring the next year, and I think he was the face of the league this previous season as well, as he will be. He's young. He's 25 years old. A lot of room to grow, and the leagues like having young faces that can be around for a long time. Like LeBron James was the face of the league back when he was 22 years old and continued on. And so I think that Mitchell, in this case, is someone who will get a ring. It's going to matter. It's going to be a matter of time for it to happen. He plays, on a good team, so it's just going to happen.
So why do we got to bother? Why do we got to talk about rings on such an early small squad? Like, there's development, there's stats. Like, it doesn't matter about the ring. You could be the suckiest player in the league and get a ring. Doesn't mean you're great.
This is a great discussion though, because he brought up the point that Mahomes already had an MVP. So I want to throw this out there because Donovan Mitchell, he's not even in the discussion now for MVP.
No.
He's not even in the discussion.
But
There's
because
better
you got players
though.
like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, like you got all these dominant superstar figures, but it doesn't mean that guy on the small team over here who is only 5 losses and dominating the league right now, just because his name isn't one of the big wows and the factors, doesn't mean the guy can't be a superstar at all.
Can we say that he's a budding superstar? Because I don't think he is right now.
He's
not
Lord.
not going to win the
Are
championship.
you calling him a bum?
Dude, no, I said a budding
No. There's no
superstar.
middle
He's
ground.
playing the gray area.
There's no
now
middle ground.
on his own game.
You set the rules.
playing the gray area of
You
his own
set the
game.
rules. There's no middle ground.
He's a bum.
Superstar or
He's
a bum?
All right. He's a
Wow.
bum. This
Wow.
year, okay? We're not talking about next year. I'm talking about right now. He's a bum because you know why?
Because there's no rings.
A, he's not going to get a ring, and B,
God.
he's not going to win the MVP. And both of those things are out of reach.
Sports with foods.
So-
I mean,
college.
would you say Russell Westbrook at one point in his career was also not worthy because he didn't win rings?
Yo, you saying he's not a superstar?
Yeah.
You're
Well, no,
saying-
Westbrook won the MVP,
Are-
though, didn't he?
Did he win MVP at any point?
I don't think he didn't win MVP.
I know he had triple doubles.
Are you
but
saying KD's not a
MVP?
superstar
I
until he
don't
won
think
that ring in the Golden
Well, here's the thing. Westbrook averaged a triple-double for
Yeah.
2 consecutive years.
so. Yeah.
The last time I checked, Donovan Mitchell's not doing that. So
But he'd get to the playoffs every time and would fail.
right.
So that's what I mean. Like Russell Westbrook was a stud, but he doesn't have rings.
Like
State.
I
Mitchell's in the
said, I mean,
playoffs every year.
this is superstar or bum, and right now I'm going to say he's a bum because he's not going to win a championship. He's not going to win the MVP this year.
Why can
And
he
so-
not win the championship? I mean, the Jazz are 23-5.
Okay, so he can. Okay, I'm gonna say this: he can win a championship if 2 out of the big 3 on the Nets get injured. That's the only way they're going to win a championship.
So now we believe in the Nets again.
I always believe in the Nets. We all believe in the Nets.
Because last
right?
week there was at least one or two of us here, along with Connor Dawson, who thought the Nets were going to fold because they didn't have enough defense. And I felt like the Nets, once you get everything back together healthy-wise, we're going to be dominant again.
Their defense sucks. However, Anthony Davis just got injured. So now all of a sudden, you don't have to play as much defense as you did when Anthony Davis was in the mix.
Look, I just think you need to reevaluate your superstar bums evaluations. That's all I'm gonna say.
Look, guys, we're an opinion show, right? So I'm not telling you that Donovan Mitchell is a bum personally, or that he's going to be a bum next year or 3 years from now.
You're saying he's closer to bum than he is superstar?
I'm talking about this year. You have to make a decision.
The guy's a
or
superstar this
bum?
year. He has 5 losses.
Okay, who's got a better chance of winning MVP right now, Joel Embiid or Donovan Mitchell?
Joel Embiid, because he has a bigger name.
Exactly. Who's got a better chance
Why
of
do
winning
you
MVP?
have to have a bigger name?
Steph Curry or
Oh,
Donovan
my
Mitchell?
Lord. I'm not even answering these questions. Look,
Not a superstar.
Donovan Mitchell right now is performing at a superstar level. He always has, actually, since he came into the league. He blew up the league his first year, second year, and now he's in his third year blowing it up.
Okay, so I'm telling you right now, okay? I'll just admit it right now. I want Donovan Mitchell to be a superstar. And I do believe that he will be a superstar in the next 2 to 3 years. You know what his other problem is?
What's his problem?
Small market, plays for the Utah Jazz. Nobody cares.
It's always about the
What are you
small
going to do
market.
about that?
The markets don't matter. It's how you perform.
They do matter.
What's Giannis? Is Giannis a superstar?
Who's going to be? Yes.
All right, but he plays in a small market, and he doesn't have a ring, and he hasn't won MVP.
He's more marketable than Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, my God.
Please
I
try to
can't-
tell
no,
me.
I can't even deal with this right now.
Please try to tell me that
Mike.
Donovan Mitchell is more marketable player than a 7-footer Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Mike.
That's
Did we not just do the 3 classifications?
Yeah, we went over it. But I do agree Giannis could be more marketable, but we're still talking about 2 small market teams. So it's equal in that regard. So I don't know. I don't think that really matters that much because you can still be an MVP on a small market team.
All right.
Okay.
What's
okay.
your next?
No. We're not gonna move on. Okay. We're not moving on because you thought you were gonna do something here, but you're not gonna do it. How many MVP awards does Donovan Mitchell have?
He's been in the league 3 years with LeBron James. Of course he
Okay.
has none.
How many MVP awards does Giannis Antetokounmpo have?
Did he win the MVP last year? No. Who was the defensive? No, he did. He has 2.
He is the two-time reigning MVP of the league.
In defensive MVP, too.
So, therefore, he is a marketable superstar. If you win the MVP 2 years in a row, I don't care if you're Steve Nash or whoever, the market doesn't matter. You're a superstar. So that's why, I didn't put Giannis. Giannis is not even in my list here, right? That's why I brought Donovan Mitchell into the list, because he hasn't won an MVP. He hasn't won a championship. So you can't bring Giannis into this discussion, dude. He's already a 2-time MVP.
DM superstar. I'm leaving it as that.
All right. So like I said, on this list, guys, we're going to be balanced, because I've already got this guy sitting to my right that's complaining that we're imbalanced here. So moving on, the next guy, superstar or bum, Nikola Vucevic of the Orlando Magic. He's 30 years old, 6'11". He shoots 50% field goal percentage for his career, and he's got 10 rebounds per game, and he's got a 4-year, $100 million contract. Is he a superstar or a bum?
I like the guy. I really do. I like his play, but if we're going category, dude, I'm calling a bum. Calling a bum.
All right, Mike, your turn.
He's been around for a while now, so I've seen him play and everything. He's a physical player for sure, but more of a grinder, if anything, I suppose. But I'm going to go with, on that one, just because there are better at his position, I'll go with a bum on that one.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys did that.
Is he a bum?
I said Donovan Mitchell is a bum.
But you're going to say this guy's a superstar.
Yes, Nikola Vucevic is a superstar.
Oh,
you know why?
Lord.
Because he gets downgraded because he is of Serbian descent. He's a European player, like I talked about earlier. So all you guys are biased towards these American players, which is fine. But what does this guy do? Yeah, he's got a good free throw percentage. He makes a lot of money. Why is he not marketable to you guys? Is it because he's a European player?
No, you put this guy on any other team, and the guy is not where he's at right now with the Magic, right?
Okay.
Right?
What if you put him on the Lakers right now?
He's coming
Game
off the
over,
bench
right?
probably. He's probably coming off the bench.
He's a backup
No.
with the Lakers.
No, it's game over. They're going to win a championship. That's what happened.
I don't know if he's that impactful on the teams, man.
Are you kidding?
Like, he'd be a great depth guy, but he ain't going to be that impactful. He ain't going to put somebody like that. Like, he's not going to be like an automatic championship.
All right. I feel like he is a superstar, except for the fact that he's of European descent, and that's why he's
Because
not
it's
marketable.
European descent.
Yeah. It's basically the same thing as Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's not marketable because he has 0 MVPs and he plays for a small market. Vucevic plays in a small market and he's of European descent, so nobody cares. I mean, they're very similar players.
So I don't understand why one's superstar and one's...
Well, I said he's a superstar because he plays for the Orlando Magic. So it's kind of like he plays for like a minor league team. So he never had a chance, dude.
What do you think the Utah Jazz are without Donovan Mitchell?
I'm saying Vucevic is a superstar player, dude.
Gobert was nothing. Like, he was something, but he couldn't lead the team by himself. Donovan Mitchell comes into play, performs out the year. They make the playoffs. And look at there now. They're 5 losses coming into the All-Star break almost.
So here's another comparison. So Vucevic shoots 50% from the field. Donovan Mitchell, 43%.
Yeah, but I want to see how many shots each other take.
Nah, dude.
It
doesn't
matters.
matter. It doesn't matter.
If Mitchell's over here taking...
You're penalizing Vucevic for playing for a shitty team. That's my issue with you right now. So Donovan Mitchell, I mean,
Maybe I am.
Are we
Maybe I
arguing? Are we going to say that the Utah Jazz are a top 3 team in the league right now?
Yeah.
Right? So Vucevic plays for a piece of shit team. Are we going to penalize him because he plays for a shitty team?
Kind of. Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to penalize him because he's a Euro player?
No, I'm not going to
And
penalize
because he's
'cause
white?
a Euro player.
He's a white guy? You're going to penalize him
Because he's
for
white,
that?
yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. So, anyway, to me, these guys are the same fucking guy. I mean, they could both be superstars. They could both be bums. I mean, I want you guys to tweet me out there, right? Because this is we got some middle ground on these two guys. So hit me up on Twitter because, I mean, they could both be superstars. They could both be bums. But I want to know you guys' thoughts on this. So, I told you guys we would get to Dame time.
Dame time, baby.
Is it Dame time?
It's Dame time.
So, is he a superstar or is he a bum? Because Dame Time is 30 years old, averaging 24 points per game. Ooh, he's got a good 3-point percentage for a 30-year-old. He's shooting 38% 3-point percentage, 90% free throws. 30 points a game dude, Dame Time averaged 30 points a game last year. Is he a superstar or a bum?
JG, what the hell did you drink before you made this list? Why is Damian Lillard in this conversation of superstar or bum?
I'm putting him on this list because he's a small guard. And I feel like small guards don't get enough respect, right? So we always give respect to the 7-footers, the big guys, the big bruisers like LeBron James. We give them all the respect in the world. But these small guards like Stephen Curry and Dame Lillard, they don't get any respect, dude. Dame Lillard's only freaking 6'1". So is he a superstar or a bum? Like, he's overcoming all odds, dude.
He's a freaking
You gotta give him some
superstar.
credit.
The whole reason that they make the playoffs and they win some games and they make it to the next round is because of Dame Lillard, man. It's Dame time. Dame leads the team. He's always been in the conversation. He's always up in the ranks of the NBA. The guy has proven in, year out, like he's the guy. Like, how there's no reason that anywhere close that he's a bum. Unless you're going to talk Reigns, then I guess he's a bum.
So I'm going to point one thing out here, Mike, before we move on to your opinion on this. Dame Time is the best player on this list, right?
By far.
So I had
By
5.
far.
Yeah, what did I have? I had 5 guys on the... No. Oh, I got a 6th guy. You guys aren't ready for this shit. I had 6 guys on the list, but up to this point, Dame Time is the best player on this list, okay? So I just want to throw that out there. We're trying to stay balanced. We like to have a balanced show here.
Yeah, with
Right?
Dame Time
So,
as the guy. Come
Dame
on.
Time. Mike, what's your thoughts on Dame Time? Is he a superstar or a bum?
Well, how many point guards can you name that are better than him in the league? There's only a small
Maybe
handful.
one, maybe two.
Maybe 2 or 3 at most. And so if
If that.
you're in the top 5 of your position in any sport, you're not a bum. Obviously, you're a superstar, and he's been doing it for a long time at a high level consistently. And he's also been fairly healthy throughout his career as well. So take those into account. It's like, okay, yeah, the guy is a superstar. I would only put maybe Russell and Steph Curry ahead of
No,
him.
not even Russell was. No,
Not even Russell?
Russell is not better than Dame.
Well, no,
Lillard.
Russ was 2 years ago. 2 years ago,
Nah,
Russ
Dame was
easily-
still fire, dude. Dame was still
No,
fire.
I'm saying on the superstar level.
Dame,
Russ was a superstar 2 years
yes,
ago.
but he was not better than Lillard.
Yeah, he's just
Okay.
getting a little bit
Okay.
older. That's no
Luka and Steph are better than Damian.
I could argue with that. Okay.
So I'll go with that, and that's a fact. But okay, so he's top, no matter what, he's top 3, top 4 of his position. He's a superstar. I'm not even sure why this is a debate. Like, what is the debate in this here?
I want to hear this, Jason.
It's not a debate, guys, okay? Because you guys all know that when I think about a guy like Dame Time, he is a superstar, right?
Thank God.
This would be like if I asked you guys,
Thank God.
is Russell Wilson a superstar or a bum?
Yeah, he's
Like,
a bum.
you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Is it like Dalvin Cook? Is it comparable to asking me Dalvin Cook? Is he a
Absolutely, because Dalvin
superstar?
Cook's also a top 3 running back.
He's a
so
superstar.
He's top 3
Okay.
at his position. He's a superstar.
No, I just wanted to get a good mix. Like, I wanted to throw some kind of guys that you weren't sure about, along with some other guys that are definitely superstars. And so I do agree with you guys. Dame Time. I wouldn't call him Dame Time if I didn't think it was a superstar. Do you think I would give him that name?
No.
I would call him Damian Lillard if I thought he was a bum.
You'd
But
call him a bum.
he is Dame Time. So therefore he is a superstar.
Man.
So guys, I got one guy left on this list, and I bet you can't guess who the hell it is. Tanner, you
Does
want to
he-
take it? Tanner, you want to take one shot at it?
Does he play for the Celtics?
He used to.
He used
play.
to.
Yeah, he used to play for the Celtics.
All right.
I think. Last time I checked,
Let's-
he had the Celtics on his resume. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are you? You're not talking about Wait, no, you're not talking about Kyrie.
I'm talking about the one and only Uncle Drew.
He would.
Uncle Drew.
I knew it.
Hey, guess what, guys? Uncle Drew is only 28 years old, shooting 46% from the field in his career, 40% from 3. I bet you guys didn't know that. He's a 40% three-point shooter for
He's
his
really
career.
selective.
88% free throws, 6 assists per game, 22 points per game. And, oh, by the way, yeah, he's got a ring. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to give LeBron credit for that ring. I'm going to give the credit to Kyrie Irving for getting that ring. So, what do you guys think about Uncle Drew? Is he a superstar or is he a bum?
Uncle Drew is a superstar, guys. Kyrie Irving, obviously, is a superstar. This is got another freaking dumb one on the list. But whatever. We'll talk about it. Kyrie is a superstar. The guy does perform. He's kind of issues on staying healthy at times. But when he's on the court, he's a whole different level. So the guy, yes, he's a superstar.
Right. So the only reason I bring him up is because you got all these LeBron homers out there, right? That think that Uncle Drew didn't do shit.
Hold on.
Uncle Drew didn't do shit during that NBA Finals. Well, yeah, just so you guys know, he made the game-winning shot that won the championship in that series. And so if you didn't have Uncle Drew out there, I'm sorry, LeBron wouldn't have had that ring.
So this guy was on the list just so you could hate on LeBron?
No, I'm just saying.
This is what you did.
No.
You just put him on the list to hate on LeBron.
Nah, dude.
He did say this
No.
is why I put him on the
This
list.
is why I put him on the list.
No, I'm saying there's too many Uncle Drew haters
What?
out there. I'm sick and tired of these people that hate on Uncle Drew that try to say that LeBron.
No, LeBron carried that team.
There should be
No,
no, hate
hell
on.
No.
Hell no.
Look,
There should be no hate on Kyrie. At all.
no. Kyrie was there the year before, and what was their record? What did they do? What
Let's
was
just talk about-
What was the record before LeBron James showed up in the Cleveland Cavaliers?
It was like almost the worst in the league.
It was the worst in the league.
There you go.
And LeBron James comes in and says, "Kyrie, you're an idiot. Play like you should."
All right,
And next
so-
thing you know, they win a championship.
Just to be clear, you think that with Kyrie off of that team, that if you just take LeBron and Kevin Love, that they would have won that championship.
Yes,
Well,
I
here's
do.
the-
Oh!
hold on.
Woo!
Well,
That's a hot take right there.
Here's the thing with
I'd
that.
love to see that.
You can't just remove a guy and not replace him with someone else.
Oh, I'd
someone
love
else
to
would
see
fill
that,
that
dude.
role. You know what I mean? It's not just an empty. You're not playing with four guys
Anybody
out
could
there.
have filled that freaking
I would
role.
love to see that.
You would
This
fill
is
I
that
would
role.
love to
ridiculous.
see that. You know what that is?
Look, if Kyrie was so great during that time, they wouldn't have been last place the year before.
I mean, I agree with that. I think that LeBron was pretty special at that point in his career for sure.
LeBron brought him into a winning.
Wait a minute. You just said that if you had LeBron and Kevin Love and no Kyrie on that team, that they would have beat the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
You just said that
I did
on the
say
air.
that.
Do you understand that you just said that on the air?
I said that.
Mike, do you agree with that right now?
You got to replace the name. You can't just take away Kyrie and not replace him with someone.
I'll replace
Another-
him with Mo Williams. Mo Williams.
Wait.
I don't know if they win in that case.
Yeah,
I don't know if they
exactly.
win in that case.
Exactly. Yeah, you
I don't know.
get my,
You know what I mean? In that case-
you get my fucking point on that one.
I mean, now we're really
bullshit.
stretching it there. One thing like I learned, really at a young age is never go full retard. So
Anyways, what are
You
your
go-
thoughts
well-
on Kyrie, though? Like, I want to know about Kyrie.
I like Kyrie a lot. I've always liked him
Okay.
as a player. I think he's great. I mean, he's not as good as the guy we talked about previously, but I think that he's been doing it for a long time and been consistent as well. I mean, what am I supposed to say? He's a superstar. He's not a bum. He's always been good. So, yeah, it's a weird list you had there, Jason. Of names.
We just like to mix it up here on this show. I mean, the whole point with Uncle Drew was that he's got his own damn movie, right? Like
Yes.
they made a movie about the motherfucker.
Wait,
So-
Shaq was in it too, right? Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't
Shaq
matter.
was in it
Chris
too. Yeah.
Webber
It
was in
great.
there.
Yeah, Chris Webber was in there.
So I mean,
So-
it's just like if you
Man.
guys that are out there thinking that LeBron would have won that ring without Kyrie, I mean, I can't. I have no
I
help
can't,
for you.
dude.
You guys are just. You guys. Are,
I can't believe you think
You
Kyrie,
guys are so far up your asses that
I can't believe you
help
think Kyrie was the one that. It sounds like Kyrie. If without Kyrie, the game wouldn't. They wouldn't be in the finals.
He won the game-winning shot to win the
That
championship.
does. Okay, but LeBron got him there and got him to that position. So Kyrie did his job. That's it.
He did his job.
He did his job. Hey, I need you to make that three. Great. Pass the ball. Game winning. Done.
All right. So the bottom line is we all agree, right? We all agree on this
Kyrie is
show.
a superstar.
Kyrie is a superstar.
Yeah,
Yes.
no doubt.
So that's the main thing is that we all agree on this show. I think we agree about everything, Mike. Do we? We
No,
pretty
we
much
did
agree
not.
on everything.
agree on
Favorite pro
everything.
wrestlers? I disagreed about Ric Flair.
No.
I know he was
yeah,
the 16-time world champion, but I saw a
You
much better
fucker.
quality.
He's a baller,
He just
man.
wrestled
He's a
forever.
baller.
He just wrestled forever.
Oh,
All
man.
right, moving right
That
along.
was
Moving right
stressful,
along.
guys.
Okay, Tanner, what do you have for us, if anything, here?
I don't have anything, guys. Hey,
Okay.
what? So quick here, as we end towards the show, I do have one thing. I want to know your thoughts. Steelers really going to get rid of Ben Roethlisberger?
No, hell no. They're not getting.
Get rid of him? No,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Dude,
He's already-
he's already agreed to come on the cheap. Like
He did.
he's gonna take a big dick cut on his salary.
But the GM came out and said, "Yeah, for now you're a quarterback." So they're
Yeah.
exploring the options.
jeez.
They're exploring the situation.
No, I get that whole thing.
Who are they
but
gonna bring in? Tyrod
I
Taylor?
don't know what they're gonna
Seriously,
do.
that's not gonna fucking.
I know
I
they
mean,
got rid of the duck.
They should be drafting right now and developing for sure. So that's something they should be gearing towards going into the offseason. But
I mean, there's tons of quarterbacks to go around too. So
I do want to know where Watson's going to end up, because that to me is the most important name. I don't care about Carson Wentz. I don't care about anybody else floating around out
what
there.
about Derek Carr?
Don't care about Derek Carr. No one cares about that crap. Watson is the only name really to care about where he
So
lands.
okay, just real quick, what is your guys' opinion on Watson? Where do you think that Houston is actually gonna keep a hold of him like the Steelers did with Le'Veon Bell that one
we've
year?
talked about this though, and I
know.
said they do.
Keep Watson.
Are
Yeah.
they stupid
I think
enough
they
to do that?
I think they want to keep Watson, but
I think they keep him.
Think about what was given up also in that trade with Goff and Matt Stafford just recently. And the Lions ended up, I think, they ended up getting a first-round pick, 2 first-round picks.
Speaking of MCDC,
As well as
Lions
that.
World,
Yeah.
guess who they signed today as a wide receivers coach? Antoine Randall L is back in the league, baby.
Oh, nice.
That guy's a big baller.
Oh, nice.
He's a big baller.
He's back in the league as
I
a wide
remember that
receivers
guy.
coach. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think Deshaun stays. I think he stays.
I want him to go
may not
somewhere
even
else.
play.
I
As
hope he
a
doesn't
fan
stay
of the
there.
sport, I want him to go somewhere else because I want to see him have a chance to be successful. In Houston, it's not going to happen.
No.
His career is going to be
JJ Watt
trashed.
left. So.
JJ left. I mean, Hopkins is gone. I mean, everybody's gone. Watson should do whatever he can do to get out of there.
Yep.
And I don't know what it's going to take, but I'd like to see him go to a successful team that's ran better, with better ownership. So I'm not sure what that is yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing and finding out eventually.
Yeah, that's my whole thing with Watson this whole time is like I just don't want to see somebody ruin his career because he's just got way too much talent. And I said that I wanted to see him go to the Colts in the AFC, or I wanted to see it go to an NFC team like the Carolina Panthers or somebody like that. But I just don't want to see his career get ruined by a team like the Houston Texans because that whole organization is complete garbage.
Almost every team in the league should be inquiring about Watson. There might be a few here, obviously teams that have guys on their roster like a Mahomes and like a Russell Wilson and like a Rodgers, where you don't need to worry about it yet. But every other team just about that has a quarterback at all question on their team should be inquiring. I've heard that the Broncos would probably love him. The Raiders would probably love him on their team. Those are teams that could upgrade at quarterback. And if they did, just a simple step like, especially the Raiders, getting a guy like Watson, the Raiders would be a probably 11 to 12 win team right away. It would be that much of a difference going from Carr to Watson, in my opinion. And especially with having a good offensive line like the Raiders do and a better running game than what Houston has. So I'm looking forward to seeing, and I hope he ends up somewhere. I'm just not sure where that's going to be yet.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Well,
just real quick, where do you guys think that Alex Smith is going to end up this year?
I think he ends up being a Colt.
On the Colts.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he goes to the Colts.
Yeah, I like the idea of that for sure. I mean, I'm surprised Rivers retired as early as he did after 1 year in Indy, but I could see it happening. I haven't really thought about it too much with Alex Smith because he's going to want to go to a team that's still stable already. You don't want to go to a team that's not good.
What about Matt Nagy and the Bears?
Possible.
It's not a very good team,
Yeah.
but I mean, I could see him if he wants to just play.
But he could
Then sure.
he could help that team out extremely.
I mean, the Bears should be trying to do whatever they can to get Watson. I mean,
Yeah.
a team like that even should be doing that.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how the quarterback carousel continues during this offseason.
Yeah, we're gonna have NFL talk, a lot to talk about actually as weeks go on. You know, it's not gonna completely disappear. We have draft talk to go on about prospects to look into, stuff
Yep.
like that. So that's gonna be coming as the offseason goes on, anyways. Leading up to the combine coming up at the end of this month here in 2 weeks, which is pretty cool. Already back in football season. Did you guys see Patrick Mahomes' Instagram or tweet?
Today?
It was on actually I think it was Monday, and he said day one with the time clock, basically saying he had his week off and he's back to
He's back
grinding
at it,
again.
man.
Oh, I love
back to starting for
I love it.
It's
season number 5.
reset done, and here we go.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's just another day with Patrick Mahomes. That's what we do when we're big ballers.
that's
All
right.
right, it's past my bedtime, you guys.
I agree. Me too.
So, with that said, thank you all for joining in at the Sports Buffoons here. This one ran a little long for you guys, so if you're still following along, thank you very much. And follow us at Sports Buffoons and at Sports Buffoons 15 on Twitter, or on Twitch, I believe, actually, for that one. At Sports Buffoons on Twitch. And what do we have coming up soon? Anything?
Well, like you said, you got the combine next week. We should have a guest out talking about getting ready for March Madness as
Oh,
we
yeah.
get closer. So JG's brother is going to come on here.
That's my bro.
That'll
He's
be
gonna be on
really
next
exciting there. So be ready for a great show next week. We'll talk a lot of college ball next week. Maybe, well, of course we'll hit NBA, but expect a lot of college ball next week because I'm super excited as we get closer.
Yep. I will see you guys on the next one.
JG out.
See you guys.